Imagine waking up on the morning of your 18th birthday, expecting a celebration, but instead being dragged out of bed and kicked onto the street by the people you called mom and dad. They told me I was worthless, but the sick twist behind why they really did it, honestly, even after everything, I never saw it coming. It started abruptly. My eyes weren't even fully open when my foster dad started screaming. I remember the aggressive shove, him literally kicking me out of the bed while yelling at me to get the F out of his house. I was terrified. I stumbled into the hallway, looking for my foster mom, hoping she would stop him. But she just stood there, staring daggers at me. Cold. Hateful. She repeated exactly what he said. Get out. I was panicked. I had nowhere to go. I pleaded with them, asking what I had done. In a moment of pure heartbreak and anger, I asked, "Are you doing this because I'm black and you're white? Is that it?" My foster dad didn't even flinch. He looked me dead in the eye and said, "It's not just that. But if you think that, maybe our friends were right about you. We never loved you. We never saw you as our own. We don't want anything to do with you. So go." Those words, "We never loved you," they shattered me. I grabbed my backpack, shoved some random clothes in it, and walked out the door with a few crumpled dollars in my pocket. I ended up collapsing on a park bench, just staring at the ground as the sun came up, trying to process that my life had just fallen apart in 10 minutes. Desperate, I called my best friend, Tyler. It was 7 a.m. When he answered, groggy and confused, I just broke down. I told him everything. There was this long, heavy silence on the line before he said, "Meet me at the diner in 20. We're going to figure this out." When I got to the diner, Tyler hugged me, a real hug, the kind I realized I hadn't gotten from my parents in years. Over breakfast, I poured it all out. I told him about the sly comments my foster family used to make. How when cousins came over, I was the outcast. They'd ask why I looked different, and the adults would just smirk. I told him about the lunch tables at school, watching my family eat together while I sat alone because they didn't think I'd want to come. Tyler sighed, looking furious on my behalf. He told me the hard truth. "Man, it sounds like they kept you around for the check, but they treated you like that because they were ashamed. Their friends probably whispered in their ears that you were a bad influence just because of your skin color." Hearing him say it out loud made a twisted sort of sense. But I needed closure. I was naive, so I tried to go back. I walked to the house, knocked on the door, and saw my dad peek through the blinds and ignore me. I called the landline. Finally, he cracked the door open. He didn't ask if I was okay. He didn't offer food. He just said, "You need to leave. The neighbors are watching. If you don't get off my property, I'm calling the police." That broke the last bit of hope I had. The man who raised me since I was 3 threatened to have me arrested for standing on his porch. I felt like that unwanted little boy all over again. So I ran. I left town. I moved north and started over from zero. The first few months were hell. I lived in a shelter, working dead-end jobs, saving every single penny. But I had a fire in me now. I refused to let them be right about me. I got a rundown apartment. I went to community college at night. I was exhausted, lonely, and hurting, but I kept climbing. Years passed. I got my degree. I landed a solid job at a marketing firm. And then I met Jasmine. She was the light at the end of the tunnel. Smart, funny, and incredibly kind. She made me believe that family isn't blood. It's who shows up for you. A few years later, I took her to a rooftop restaurant at sunset. I'd been saving for months for this night. When I got down on one knee and asked her to marry me, the look on her face washed away years of pain. She said yes. The restaurant cheered, and for the first time, I felt truly safe. But as they say, the past has a way of crawling back. Out of the blue, my foster parents messaged me. They wanted to reconnect. They said they had an explanation. My gut told me to block them, but Jasmine, being the angel she is, encouraged me to hear them out just for my own peace of mind. So I met them. And what they told me made my blood boil. My foster dad looked regretful and said, "On your 18th birthday, We found out thousands of dollars were missing from our emergency stash in the cookie jar. Our close friend, Karen, convinced us that you stole it. I stared at them, stunned. So, you thought I was a thief? Why didn't you ask me? My foster mom started crying. We were just so hurt. We didn't want to confront you. We figured you'd deny it. Can you believe that? They kicked me out, homeless, based on a hunch and a neighbor's whisper. They didn't even give me a chance to speak. I left that meeting feeling a surge of anger I hadn't felt in years. But this time, I wasn't a helpless kid. I was a grown man, and I was going to find the truth. I went into detective mode. I scoured their friend Karen's social media. I scrolled back years, thousands of photos, until I found it. A post from the exact week I was kicked out. It was a picture of a brand new, sleek red convertible. The caption read, "Finally got my dream car. Hard work pays off." I dug into the comments. Someone asked, "Did you win the lottery?" Karen replied, almost arrogantly, "Nope. Just good financial planning and some help from an old friend." I called Tyler immediately. We hatched a plan. Tyler went to the dealership Karen bought the car from, pretending to be her cousin wanting to buy accessories for the car as a surprise. He charmed the salesman into chatting about the sale. Tyler called me back, breathless. "Bro, you aren't going to believe this." The salesman remembers her. She put down a massive cash down payment, the exact amount your parents lost. My heart pounded. I had her. I confronted Karen at her house. When I laid out the evidence, she crumbled. She broke down sobbing, admitting she was in debt and stole the money from my parents' house, knowing they would blame the foster kid. She let me lose my home so she could drive a convertible. I recorded her entire confession on my phone. I took that recording straight to my foster parents. I played it for them. I watched their faces turn pale as they realized the magnitude of their mistake. They wept. They begged for forgiveness. They said, "We were wrong. We should have trusted you." I looked at them, really looked at them, and I felt nothing. "I appreciate the apology," I told them. "But you chose to trust a neighbor over the son you raised. You threw me away like garbage without a shred of evidence. I can't build a relationship on that foundation." I walked away. My wedding day came, and I made the hard choice not to invite them. They were hurt, but I had to protect my peace. Standing there with Jasmine, surrounded by friends like Tyler, who actually loved me, I realized I had already found my real family. Since then, life has been amazing. Jasmine and I bought a house, and we just welcomed our baby girl, Lily. Holding her in my arms, I made a silent promise. I will always trust her. I will always protect her. My foster parents still reach out every holiday, asking for another chance. Jasmine told me once, "Forgiveness is for you, not them." So, I sent them a letter telling them I forgive them for what they did, so I can let go of the anger, but that I'm not ready to let them back in. And, honestly, I've never felt lighter. But I have to ask you guys, if you were in my shoes and the people who raised you came back begging for a relationship after doing something like that, would you have tried to fix it? Or was I right to cut them off forever? Tell me what you think in the comments. I really want to know.